What's good, everybody? It's your boy back with another reaction video. I will be reacting to 5 scary videos 99% of people can't watch. I think this is from, I forgot to put it in my description. I think it's from Chill's channel, but anyway, the link to the original video will be in the description, so you can check out their channel yourself. So without further ado, let's just get into this. Here we go.
On this list are
Like 20
videos so
minutes.
scary, I think 99% of the people can't handle what you're about to watch.
Can't
Number
handle what you're
5.
about
There's
to
a paranormal
watch.
explorer named Kazmea who isn't afraid to go to some of the most haunted places across his home country of Jordan. He's been at it for over a year now, but if he keeps angering spirits at this rate, ones who are already angry enough to begin with, mind you, then I have a feeling he might not be doing this for much longer. Take this entity recorded in an apartment building on February 25th, 2019 for example. Tell me, is this the howl of an animal, a spirit, or something even worse? Within minutes, it transforms into the low moan of a person.
Sound like a
أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما
sound
خلق.
like a machine.
As he's exploring from apartment to apartment, he quickly learns that some rooms are well guarded.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله يلمس.
And some are completely off limits to the living. Did he reach with his right hand and grab the door himself? It happens too fast to tell, but I don't think so. There's one room in particular that gives me a really terrible feeling. This one. His flashlight chances upon a crouched figure that does not show a single detail even under a direct beam of light. Tell me how I'm able to tell these bars are blue, but unable to see any color behind the figure that's standing directly behind it. When he flashes his light in the same place literally 5 seconds later, it's gone. But out of all of these strange encounters, what scares Ehab the most is this black snake, which he names the video after, and which he is convinced is actually a demon in disguise. I think this little snake, who seems to try and hide under a board from him, is the least of his worries. I mean, this is obviously not a demon in my opinion. I'm guessing this black snake is from cultural mythology. It would be like if we saw a black cat outside of a haunted house. Speaking of which, that's exactly what happens with this second animal encounter during another urban exploration adventure in Jordan. This one a year earlier on July 19th, 2018. A creepy cat follows them all around and stares at them from different places despite getting no food or affection the entire time. Ehab has visited enough abandoned houses to suspect that this is a jinn assuming animal form, and I was going to question his judgment until he tells the animal he's not afraid of it, and then this happens. So could it be one of his friends standing behind the door off camera? But don't you think it's weird that the cat doesn't run away after the door slams? It just keeps staring from its perch above. Meanwhile, this area caught my eye. Something peeking from around the corner is darker than the rest of the floor and looks like a head. In fact, it looks very similar to the spirit that was watching them in the last video. Are they one and the same?
Number 4. A while back, Chills covered a video by a YouTuber named Donnie and his shadow person problems. The video generated a ton of interest, so we wanted to revisit his channel and analyze some other important videos and information. So a little more about Donnie first. He is an expert ghost hunter who travels all over North America capturing electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs for short, aka the speech patterns of a spirit. His speciality is, get this, angry poltergeist activity. His home in Canada was his one quiet place to retreat from his paranormal adventures, but on November 28, 2019, he revealed to his subscribers that something had followed him home. He first noticed its presence 3 weeks prior, but this was the first day he got strong paranormal evidence on camera. Nobody else is in the house, and he was just in his room, but somehow this happens.
What the?
Skeptics will say that he moved the light himself before recording, and I agree this could be true, but that's not where it ends. His dog Terry is standing on alert, as if someone is at the door.
Who's here?
But no one is there, no one at all, and when Donnie turns around, he finds the kitchen light is swinging with a fresh momentum that, if he were to have done this himself, would not have lasted in the time it takes for him to climb down the stairs and see what's wrong. And when he checks the first light to see if it's slowed down at all, he finds it's still swinging with as much momentum as before, even though it's well over a minute later. There's no time lapse, no editing, no cuts. The basement is where the shadow person resides, so after the incident with his swinging lights, this is the first place Donnie goes to do a little paranormal experiment with the help of his dog. Sure enough, Terry wants nothing to do with the downstairs area. Maybe Donnie should take the hint and stay out of there himself, but giving up is not what a ghost hunter does, especially in their own home. Here's where it gets absolutely strange. Terry looks like he's focused on something, probably this odd shadow bouncing in the corner of Donnie's frame.
Terry, you don't gotta be scared. You come with me. Come on.
Nope.
As of January 18th, 2020, the ghost became enraged. The light is swinging, same as before, so Donnie knows to expect anything. I agree, this sounded like a washing machine lid, and I was thinking it could have been the automatic unlocking system until I heard these follow-up noises. Less than a minute later, his basement camera picks up this black mass soaring out of the darkness without a sound. I notice that this supposed shadow person leaves a shadow of their own against the wall. A shadow leaving a shadow doesn't make much sense, but a thrown pillow does. Then again, I've never seen an actual shadow person before, so who knows if they have one of their own. We do get to see a better glimpse of the shadow person again on January 1st, 2020. When a black object flies across the doorway and lands with a thud, loud enough to upset Terry the dog. Donnie points out that the shadow has a shadow of its own and therefore carries physical weight. I see what he means, but at the same time, something's kind of weird about this video. I mean, when you play it in reverse, doesn't it just look like he's throwing a black shirt? But when you pause at 24 seconds, it actually does totally look like a face is looking around the corner, brow, nose, and chin. So you know what? I take back everything I just said. This is almost definitely real, and I think it's best if we just stop talking about it, because I actually might have just creeped myself out.
Number 3. I wanted to share a blog I came across called Extreme Haunting that's run by a woman known only as Carmen. She is a very private person with a job to protect, so all I will say is that Carmen lives way out in the countryside on a farmhouse next to an abandoned barn that's over 100 years old. Now, before I get into what's lurking around her house, freaking out her and her husband, let me first say what makes her website unique. You see, Carmen is not looking to get famous. She is reaching out to others who are dealing with the emotional shock of actually living in a haunted home and need support from someone who understands. She knows how hard this is to go through and wants to help others while sharing her own experiences as a way to heal from them. So for 50 years, a man lived here before her, and he was a hoarder. The house was covered in his stuff when Carmen first moved in, including down in the basement, which Carmen says she really hates going down into because of how scary it is, and also just so happens to be where this paranormal activity occurred on June 27th, 2017. This moment comes after 10 minutes of talking to herself about random things. A second, much deeper voice tries to do an imitation of her, except there's just one thing. She says a breathy okay with an exhale at the end, and the ghost tries to do the same thing, but it sounds kind of weird, considering, well, it has no breath. At 50% speed, she sounds normal. The second voice does not.
It's the predator.
And did you see this? At 8 seconds, a mysterious white light flies across the room, approximately 1 second after the ghost responds. Weird, right? Well, it's about to get even stranger. The ghost is always trying to get attention in various ways, and because it will start acting up if ignored for too long, Carmen tries to take some time out of her day to document what's going on and calm it down. This room full of dolls gets a lot of activity. No surprise if you ask me. And this happened on March 9th of that same year. A white object appears and disappears multiple times by one of the dolls. It's about the size of someone's head and looks kind of like a face. It might just be a reflective surface, but look around. Nothing else is doing that. So what it is, I'm not exactly sure. Carmen doesn't see it, so maybe it's nothing after all. But there's still something in the room with her, as this next part shows.
I don't see anything.
Babe, I was a ghost. But you see these nuts?
It's the sound of a tin being pushed in, and sure enough, the pop comes from a can full of, get this, mineral spirits. I guess this ghost has a sense of humor after all. Or if this is fake, then maybe she squeezed the tin container and waited for it to pop back into place. Either way, I noticed an orb wander to the right and then straight up at 2 different speeds here at 1 minute and 4 seconds. And you probably missed this, but a shadow passes by exactly 3 seconds before this noise happens. It's actually running towards the direction of the tin. That shadow person sighting was only for a split second. It would be over a year later before Carmen captures this incident, which is much clearer and occurred on June 3rd, 2018. A tall person doesn't just walk, they literally glide by the door outside of the 100-year-old barn. Carmen said she would post the full video, but it's been a while, and her last upload was 5 months ago, as of the time of this video, so it's probably not coming out anytime soon. I think this shadow person is most likely the man who lived before her, the hoarder who spent most of life collecting things before passing away. His belongings could have carried a charge of paranormal energy that allowed him to remain on Earth well past his physical lifetime. I wish Carmen the best of luck in her haunted home, and if you want more paranormal video evidence, check out her blog dating all the way back to 2013. That's a really long time to keep making videos that get, on average, less than 50 views, so I don't think she's faking it.
Number 2. Paranologies is a company that's been designing custom paranormal investigation and research equipment for professional ghost hunters for over 10 years. Founded by engineer and paranormal expert Jeremy Jones, Paranologies has fine-tuned its instruments over the course of 700 home investigations throughout the United States, to the point where they have become leaders in the industry. A lot of their early experiments were caught on video on their channel, and let me tell you, they are plenty scary. You can check them out for yourself using the link provided in the description below. But out of all of their uploads, I wanted to focus on 3 videos that make up what I like to call the Eddie series, where Jeremy documents the exploits of a doll with red hair, red shoes, and a striped shirt, like a real counterpart to the movie Child's Play. On August 23rd, 2017, Jeremy heard what he describes as plastic moving again across the floor for the 3rd night in a row. He grabbed his camera and went into the doll room. From behind are voices, followed by a faint ringing noise, like a bell. I think this could be the television from another room, but it surprises him, so maybe it is small noises like he fears. Tell me what you hear, if anything.
Well, he don't want to get all this creepy shit.
Who was that?
Jeremy, having had much experience dealing with the afterlife, is able to pinpoint the suspect to one doll in particular.
Eddie, if that was you, can you move?
And look at that. An orb moves as soon as Jeremy tells Eddie to move. Shortly after the orb goes by, Eddie confirms he is the most haunted doll of them.
Oh shit.
What the
Eddie signals his presence by tilting a little without falling over. Jeremy says, for the sake of his sanity, that he forced himself to believe the doll was simply off-balanced. But 8 days later, he got more proof that Eddie was one possessed little piece of plastic. First, the custom spirit box switches to a radio station that just so happens to be playing a song with a special message in it.
Or maybe you're a child trying to play with a doll? You can do it. Eddie!
I mean, it switches over from complete static to the name Eddie, at the exact right moment? Did they already have this song queued up, or did this really spontaneously happen, like Jeremy's claiming? Eddie then decides to make sure that Jeremy knows none of this is a coincidence.
I'm gonna kill ya.
So not only does its hand move by itself, but moments before, this shadow plays across the reflection of the mirror, blocking out some of the light. Jeremy didn't really mess with Eddie for over a full year after that. I guess he had all the paranormal proof he needed to conclude that Eddie was the real deal and should probably be left undisturbed. But then on September 1st, 2018, he busted out Eddie one more time to help test custom Jacob's ladder. Now, paranormal theory states that a spirit crosses into our world by manipulating currents of electricity. So a Jacob's ladder will increase charged particles called ions into the air, giving the ghost more electricity to work with, amplifying its powers. When placed in front of this device, Eddie seems to be able to move his arm much faster and in a greater radius with more force than he was able to a year before. In other words, he's getting stronger.
So that means you throw him out of the house.
I'm also checking out a new illuminator.
Perhaps there really is something to the Jacob's ladder theory after all,
And if
or
he
maybe
shows
Jeremy
back up in
Jones
the house,
figured
he's
out a
like,
way
"You know
to
what?
fake this video in a way that it did not
How's Eddie?
detect. I want to know if this really happened, so let's talk about what you think of Paranologies and their old pal Eddie.
Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills, and if you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillin'YT and tap that follow button to find out. Have you seen the number 15 music video yet? If not, you're definitely missing out. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to hit the subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. This way, you'll be notified of the new videos I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Number 1. A group of teens step out of a small blue room wearing concerned faces. They all turn around and dare to look back for a second glimpse at what's inside. A creature that I'm not ready to show you yet, but one that is going to creep you out as much as they are in just a moment. Before I show you what they were up against on that day, see if you can help me figure out where this video is from. There's no sound, so I don't know what language they are speaking. One of them is wearing a shirt that says SunGuard, which is a US solar company, but that doesn't necessarily mean this video is from America. This pink ram decorator is our second regional clue. If anyone could tell me what part of the world would hang this up on their door, then it would help us figure out where this creature was spotted. The crowd finally parts wide enough to grant the cameraman a clear shot of the room. A humanoid figure sits with its hands clasped over its chin and lips, considering them with an odd expression of quiet uncertainty, possibly contempt, but maybe it's the camera lens that's causing this effect to occur. But at 2 minutes and 4 seconds, the monster's fingers look exceptionally long and pointy, more like a bat's, and I only count 3 of them on each hand, though the middle and index finger could be close together to make them appear as one. I don't know if this used to be one of their friends or not, but it doesn't look like a friend anymore. Some say its pinched bird-like face kind of resembles a Japanese sky god known as Tengu. Tengu are unholy monsters that take delight in corrupting all that is good, just the type to ambush a group of innocent friends. And yes, they are known to possess people, so that could be what's happening here. According to legend, these spirits are known to disguise themselves as a priest to fool monks, and this one does seem to be wearing similar dark flowing garbs. This video doesn't exactly look like it's in Japan, but there is another monster, the Tiangu, that has been sighted in China and neighboring areas. This dog-faced demon is even older than the Tengu and is just as much trouble. And going back to the pink ram on the door, if I had to guess what country this was from, it would probably be Mongolia based on this decoration, a country that does in fact border China. Of course, another explanation is basic stage makeup. It wouldn't be that hard to wear all black makeup and sit in the corner while your friends pretend to act scared. But the point is, this clip is viral with no background information at all. Nobody has claimed it as their own, and nobody has debunked it, which is usually what winds up happening. So I think it has at least a passing chance of being real. If you have any more information about this clip, let us know so we can help explain this unsolved paranormal mystery. Oh, and one more thing about this video that's really creepy. This person in red, seen here trying to keep everyone out, suddenly relaxes his arms and heads straight in. Did he just absent-mindedly ruin the skip by running in like that? Or was he the next in line to get possessed? Oddly enough, everyone turns their heads away when he walks in and don't seem to notice, almost like they're being distracted or mind-controlled themselves. Doorbell cams are meant to see who is at your door, but every once in a while they can also show you who is after your life.
Sheesh. Like anybody who was like, oh, I'm a paranormal investigator, and they go into spooky places and shit. If you get fucked up, I have no sympathy for you. You chose to go in there, so basically you chose to get fucked up. But they saying, I don't know if the last one, this boy's supposed to be possessed, or that was an actual demon, or whatever. Or it could have just been a crazy person that covered themselves in like old feces. But I'd have been like, close the door. Just in case this motherfucker decided to jump up and try to attack somebody. Like, close the goddamn door. Like, I don't want to deal with it. And this dude, the other dude with that doll. Like, he's talking about the doll getting strong. I was like, well, I'm getting closer to leaving this fucking house. The stronger this dog gets, the closer I am to leaving. I would have left already. Like, well, I would have threw that dog out. And if they'd have did some Annabelle type shit where they threw the doll away and it was back in the house, I'd have been like I said, like, you know what? You stay here. I'll go. I'll leave. It's fine. You know. I mean, the loan I get, you know, is cool. Yeah, I pay that back, whatever. I'm gonna get out of here. You keep the place, and you know you have a good life. Now they do that shit where it's like following me, then that motherfucker gonna have to stop paying rent, cause you ain't gonna be in here moving around and moving shit, and you ain't paying no rent, and you ain't paying me nothing. You just in here. You ain't like you gotta give me like you ain't gotta go half, you gotta give me something. Oh, anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed my reaction. And if you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell. You'll be notified when I upload new videos. Comment down below. Share this video. I'll see y'all next time.